Hello, good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet again to another Renewed Hope Town Hall Global Virtual Conference. Once again, my name is Joseph Kolaole Adebola. I'm going to be your host for the rest of today. Before we start the program, we will be singing our new national anthem, which will be what the one that has just been approved by the National Assembly. So may we all be standing so that for the national anthem, which will start in just a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds. Thank you very much. The national anthem, please.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribes and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
Thank you very much. Just like the national anthem, even though our tongue and tribe may differ, yet in brotherhood we stand. I think that figures and that says a lot about the Nigerian culture. Thank you so very much. Once again, good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joseph Kolaole Adebola. I'm your host today and welcome you all to yet another of our usual Renewed Hope Town Hall Global Virtual Conference. As you all know, today is a special day in the annals of Nigeria as a country, because this week marks the first year of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and in that 12 months, a lot of great achievements have been made by the government. So that is one of the reasons why we are hosting this special edition today. And we have in our midst two great Nigerian patriots who have come from the presidency to come and engage with Nigerians across the globe regarding the last 12 months of this government and what to expect in the next few years to come. My co-hosts for today, as usual, are Honorable Joseph Jacob Ogunsheye, Haji Arakia Abubakar, Udeme Ukwe, Sheung Bayo, aka Boyo, and Tosin Olayinka. They will be assisting me as usual in moderating today's conference to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted deliberation. I wish to inform you that this conference is streaming live across social media, and especially on Ben TV, the first Nigerian African digital Sky TV channel, courtesy of its CEO, Alastair Ashoyode. Many thanks, sir, for your support and assistance always. As always, we have on the conference today, Nigerians across the globe, from all over, from America, from Russia, from Europe, UK, and even Africa. Well, towards the end of the program, I will be acknowledging the presence of some of the stakeholders and some of our leaders as well. But in the meantime, on behalf of the team behind the Renewed Hope Town Hall Global Virtual Conference, I welcome you all to this session. And as announced in the last 2 weeks, we have a couple of new updates for which one is that we now have a WhatsApp channel called the Renewed Hope Global Virtual Town Hall Conference. The broadcast platform provides members the opportunity to get regular updates on our activities and especially about our special guests and VVIPs. Any participant that is interested in joining the WhatsApp channel is at liberty to drop their details in the chat room, and we will forward to you the invitation link to join. Once you've joined our WhatsApp channel, please make sure you turn on notifications by typing the bell icon at the top of the screen so you never miss a message. We also have an email address for participants and members of the WhatsApp channel to send in their questions, which, as stated last week, we will be forwarded to our special guests prior to appearing on the conference. From now on, from next week, the first part of the conference will be devoted to answering those questions by our special guests before we proceed to the question and answer session. The email address that we have for whoever wants to engage with us is info@renewedhopeglobalconference.com. Once again, I repeat, info@renewedhopeglobalconference.com. Details of the email is also posted on the chat room for our participants' attention. Once again, e-flyers for each virtual conference will be circulated to members in the WhatsApp group and on social media. The telephone number, the dedicated telephone number that I spoke about last week, should be ready in the next couple of days, and we will let you all to know. Today, as I said earlier on, we are commemorating 1 year of this new administration, and we have not one, but two VVIPs from the presidency, one each from the president's office, and the second VVIP from the vice president's office, respectively, who in the next 2 hours will be taking us through the activities, achievements, and challenges of the administration of President Tinubu, as well as what to expect in the coming years. Our topic for today is special edition, commemorating first anniversary of Renewed Hope administration, a journey of remarkable strides. So, but before I proceed, please let me run through the rules of engagement on this virtual conference. Apart from the fact that all participants will remain muted until they have the floor to join in the discussion of the day, for added security, video is also locked down. The only people you'll be seeing for now will be myself, the host, and my co-hosts, including our VVIPs. It is most likely we'll have a third VVIP. I will let you know as soon as he joins us as we go along. The locked video of all participants will remain locked down. It will only be released when given the floor to speak. And any participant who wishes to participate by asking a question from our guests of honor should please raise their hand by using the hand icon at the bottom of the screen. When you are given the floor to contribute, one of my co-hosts will unmute you and release your video log for you to speak. When given the floor, please introduce yourself and where you're joining us from, followed by your question. Everybody will have 1 minute each to give their question. And in order to ensure that every participant have equal opportunity to participate in this celebration, that is why we have that 1 minute maximum to contribute to this conference. Please go straight to the point so that we can save time and to give others a chance to also participate. And please be advised that the system is programmed to mute upon reaching the 1 minute maximum time allowed. So do not be offended if this happens whilst you are still talking. It simply means that the time allowed is up, and we will go to the next participants on the queue. Once again, you can chat to the hosts in the chat room, and my co-hosts will respond to any of your queries. After we will be given the floor, I will be asking the first few questions of our special guest of honor, and which will give them the floor to be able to engage with us freely as they wish. After which, we will then go to the question and answer sessions. And when that happens, I will be taking 3 or 4 questions from participants before yielding the floor to our special guests to respond to those questions. So once again, I welcome you all to this Renewed Hope Town Hall Global virtual conference. As always, this platform, as you all know, was created as a veritable vehicle for interaction between Nigerians across the globe and our leaders in Nigeria. These are the people that hold the apron strings of our country and are saddled with the wondrous responsibility of steering the ship of our fatherland with a view to enlighten our people regarding the inner workings of the administration of the day. Today, as always, we will be exploring another segment of President Tinubu's vision and policies in an interactive interview with two bigwigs from the presidency who will be dissecting President Tinubu's administration, shedding light on its significant achievements and forward-looking plans as encapsulated in the Renewed Hope agenda, upon which the president campaigned, and we all gave him the mandate, as well as the golden keys to Aso Villa on the 25th of February, 2023. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm pleased to announce to you that our special guests of honor for today have joined the conference. So please permit me to briefly read out profiles of these two special guests. I will start with the profile of Chief Bayo Onanuga. Chief Bayo Onanuga was born into the Anikilaya ruling house in Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State. Onanuga began his education at Muslim Primary School Ijebu-Ode from 1962 to 1969, and then attended Muslim College Ijebu-Ode, graduating in 1974 with a grade 1. After working for a year, Onanuga attended Federal Government College Odo-Bolu for his A-levels from 1975 to 1977. He was admitted to the University of Lagos in September 1977, where he studied mass communication and graduated in 1980 with a second-class upper degree. A series of significant milestones and challenges marked Chief Bayo Onanuga's career journey. He started at Fractions Partners in early 1982, and in July 1982, he became a pioneer staff member at Ogun State Television. His career took a turn in July 1983 when he joined The Guardian in Lagos as a sub-editor. However, he left 17 months later to start Weekly Tidbits, a venture that unfortunately did not succeed. Undeterred, he joined the National Concord in January 1985 as a senior features writer, later transferring to African Concord magazine. By 1989, he had risen to the position of international editor of the magazine based in London. And later that year, he was appointed editor, showcasing his resilience and determination in the face of adversity. In April 1992, Onanuga resigned from Concord after refusing to apologize to the military dictator, General Ibrahim Babangida, over a controversial cover story. The junta then closed the Concord group. In February 1983, Onanuga, along with Sheikh Kehinde, Dapo Olorunyomi, Sani Kabir, Idowu Obasa, Babafemi Ojudu, and Kunle Ajibade co-owned the news magazine. After the military regime shut down the news, the group launched Tempo magazine and later PM News in 1994. During the military regime of Sani Abacha, Onanuga was detained by the State Security Service in Lagos, but managed to escape and flee the country. He returned to Nigeria in 1998 after Abacha's death. Chief Bayo Onanuga's political career took a significant turn in 2014 when he announced his candidacy for the senatorial seat in Ogun East District in the 2015 general election. His decision to run under the All Progressive Congress APC platform was a testament to his commitment to public service and his belief in the party's principles, making a new chapter in his political journey. Chief Bayo Onanuga is a newspaper chief executive, former director of media and publicity for the Tinubu-Shetima campaign, and presently special advisor of information and strategy to President Tinubu. That, in a nutshell, is a brief profile of our first special guest of honor. And the second special guest of honor is Honorable Stanley Nkwocha. Honorable Kingsley Stanley Nkwocha is a seasoned journalist and media expert with nearly 20 years of industry experience. Formerly, he served as the general manager and daily editor of Leadership, one of Nigeria's prominent newspapers. Fluent in English, Hausa, and Igbo. Nkwocha holds a master's degree in international affairs and strategy from the Nigerian Defense Academy in Kaduna and a bachelor's degree in economics from the University of Maiduguri. Nkwocha's journalism career began as a proofreader. He progressed through roles such as group politics editor, managing editor, and editorial director and leadership. He resigned as managing director in 2018. In 2019, Nkwocha embarked on a new chapter in his career, venturing into consulting and seasoned training opportunities in diverse locations such as Brazil, Liberia, Ethiopia, and the United States. These international experiences serve as a catalyst for his professional growth, broadening his understanding of global economics and international politics and augmenting his expertise. Since his return to Nigeria in 2021, Nkwocha has been at the helm of Goldsprint Prints and Press Limited and Triple Impact Media and Communications Limited, which he established. In addition to his role as a media strategist, he lends his expertise as an editorial consultant to numerous publications and media organizations. His active membership in various professional bodies further underscores his commitment to the industry. Nkwocha enjoys watching documentaries, traveling, reading, and fishing. He is also an ardent lover of football and basketball and aspires to pursue further academic achievements and become a lawyer in the near future. Mr. Nkwocha is the spokesman, senior special advisor to the President on Media and Communications in the Office of the Vice President. Please join me to welcome to the Renewed Hope Town Hall Global Virtual Conference our distinguished special guests, Chief Bayo Onanuga and Honorable Stanley Nkwocha. You are highly welcome, Your Excellencies. Thank you once again for being part of this conference. We love to have you in our midst. So moving on swiftly now, I will be using the floor to our special guest of honor to engage with Nigerians across the globe. I will be throwing my question firstly to Chief Bayo Onanuga, and the question will be, even though I'll be giving them the free hand to talk, because normally what we do is to allow our special guests to speak to their heart's content to our people, but sometimes we just try to give maybe one or two questions. And my question would just be simply that we want you, sir, to engage with us, Nigerians at home and in diaspora, regarding the last 12 months of this government. What are those things that you see as challenges, and what are the achievements of this government? Because we know there's been so many giant strides being made by this government. It's part of all the odds that stacked against it, because this government came in at a precarious moment in the life of our country, and we know that so far the country has been moving in leaps and bounds. So we just want you to give us a brief overview as to what this last 12 months have been like, working closely with Mr. President. Thank you so very much, sir. Can we please unmute Chief Bayo Onanuga, please? My co-host, can we? Is it possible? Do we have any issue with Chief Bayo Onanuga's system?
No, I think everything is fine from our side, and Chief himself is a co-host.
Yeah, it seems to still it's been
So
muted still.
yeah, I think Chief can unmute himself. Yeah, it's possible from this side.
Okay. Okay, I think I've sent a message now asking him to unmute. Maybe he's not even aware that we're not hearing him. He's probably talking and we can't hear. Okay, whilst we're still waiting for him to come on, I guess perhaps we can move swiftly to Honorable Stanley Nkwocha now. Can we please unmute Honorable Stanley Nkwocha, please? Let's have him unmuted. I think perhaps both of them should remain unmuted throughout. Let me ask him to unmute as well.
Yeah, it's do that now.
Uh-oh. I think maybe they have a bit of an issue from their end there, perhaps maybe with the network. I'm not sure what exactly is the problem now because can you see what the problem might be from your end there?
Not really, because everything is okay from here, and then they are both co-hosts as well. So
okay, which should make it easy for them to.
yeah.
I'm not sure what is going on because I've sent messages for them to. Let me do that again and see what happens. Okay. Honorable Ogushaya, can you please hold the fort for me while I try to see what we can do about this? Yeah.
Sir?
Yeah. Please take over the host duties now for the next few minutes. I will try and go through the back room now to see what we can do about this. Yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, my barrister J.K. Adebola, for the time being. As he has announced before, I'm one of the co-hosts of this program, and then you can see another person by my side. And sorry, which the screen is on as well. It's Mr. Udeme, who is also another co-host on the program. And as you can see, we have both guests on. We have our referred Chief Bayo Onanuga is online, and then Honorable Stanley Nkwocha is online as well. So you can all see that now we are just having issue for us on how to get across, to get them unmuted so that we can have them discussing with us on today's program. As my chief host spoken earlier, today is a special day in the annal of the history of our country, and the present administration just clocked a year in the start of the system, and we have had a lot in written, in videos, through the TV, through various online platforms to know that yes, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has tried his best. Presidency has assumed the office over the past 1 year. So today our plan today is just to have these two big shots of the presidency. to speak to us, to have a dialogue with us, where we can speak. Even though we might have read before, we might have the videos before, we might have watched something on the YouTube or the TV channels, but today brings us a special opportunity, a unique one for that matter, where all of us can just be able to hear directly from the people that are really concerned. That we can be able to know what is happening in the office of the Vice President, what is the Vice President doing to complement the effort of the President himself. What is the President himself doing? What are the efforts of various ministries across the countries doing to enable the presidency, to the government to the higher level. So today, as we are aware, we are just waiting a little bit to see how we get them unmuted, then join us and begin to discuss these things. But again, if you are there, you can just begin to send your questions, because we are very sure we have them online already. They are going to join us. They are not like, it's not like something like, oh, they are coming off. They are online. Probably they are just having a glitch of a glitch on what is going on. And so you can just begin to have your questions, to send your questions across. Okay, if I can unmute engineer and please don't forget, your question is just 1 minute, and we will keep to that. We are not going to go beyond 1 minute. Please keep it simple, keep it coming, and then when they come on board,
sorry,
thank you very much.
Honorable Jacob. Honorable Jacob.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you, sir. Okay.
I think Chief.
I've done the unmuting. I've done it now. Yeah.
Right,
oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for coming up again. So, okay, maybe, sir, maybe you can take it off from here now that you are a sir. According to JK Adebola, my co-host of today, we want you to please give us a little bit of what the administration has done for past 1 year. What is the challenges, and how has the government been able to face these challenges, and what is the plan ahead for us as a country? We are listening, sir. Thank you, sir. You can speak on, sir. Oh, Chief is muted again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we are hearing you, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I thank you for inviting me to this forum. I want to commend your association for all the good works you guys are doing. Well, let me just go straight to what you're asking to do, giving a kind of an overview of what this administration has done in the last 1 year. This administration came in last year, May 29, at a very, very difficult time for our country. And you can see that what it did from day one at Eagle Square was to confront a major problem that our country was facing at that time, and that's the issue of fuel subsidy, by announcing right there at Eagle Square that subsidy is gone. Of course, this triggered a lot of problems, unintended problems at that time. And of course, it also followed by attempting to harmonize the exchange rates. In fact, the twin policies created a kind of a crisis in the economy that people were not used to. And the government also quickly began to roll out many remedies to make sure that the vulnerable members of society are not seriously impacted. And that's how it started. It has not been so easy. The economy, everybody should remember, the budget that President Tinubu inherited showed that in 2023, the government had committed 97% of its revenue to service just debt alone, 97%. And it was, of course, everybody should wonder how would government have run if already out of its 100%, 97% was meant to service debt. So it means government had to shop for money to do other services, pay salaries of workers, do capital projects, and so on. And you will see what the government has done, the turnaround this administration has been able to make in the last 1 year, that a year after it took over, the same government is embarking on very, very ambitious and audacious programs like the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, which will cost about 15 trillion naira. He's talking about doing the Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway, which was abandoned in 1976, a very lofty idea to connect north and south, and embarking on so many things, so many projects at a go, because it has been able in the last 1 year after the initial baby steps, been able to master the finances of the country and putting a lot of things together to ensure that this country is catapulted into greater heights.
Sorry, sir.
There have been problems anyway.
Sorry,
Yes.
sir. We like you to put on your video, sir, so people could.
My video?
Yes, sir. Possibly.
Okay.
Yes,
I've done it. I've done that.
Okay, that's fine, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're hearing just my voice. I've done that too.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
So what I'm saying is that what we have seen the government doing, or what it has done the last 1 year, from the initial baby steps in the early days of the administration to what we are witnessing now, taking very giant steps to propel us forward. That's what we are witnessing. Very soon, the government will launch what it calls the Renew Hope Infrastructure Development Fund. That by that one, we really showcase the capacity of this administration to lift Nigeria far, far, far forward. By the time the president already hinted about it when he addressed the joint sitting of the National Assembly on Wednesday, when he said we soon will bring in a supplementary budget that will highlight so many, many projects that this government wants to embark upon. The last year has been, as I said, very bumpy last year, but I think we are turning the corner. We are going to make much more progress in the next 12 months. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Maybe if I have my way, sir, I will call Honorable Stanley Nkwocha, sir, if you don't mind, sir, to give us to compliment to Bayo Onanuga from the Peace Officer. It's possible, sir. Are you online, sir? Are you able to mute, sir? Maybe not at this time. Okay, sir. Maybe. Thank you very much, sir, once again for the for that introduction and what you have done, sir. Maybe we have some questions already that have been sent to us via the email. I don't know if I should ask that. Okay, let me just ask that question before I turn to people on the platform here. I know it's a very strange. When I saw the question, I was surprised because I've never heard of it. But again, let me just ask you directly, and you'll be able to give us a real the real picture of what is going on. The question we just said, I heard from a good note that the relationship between the president and vice president is breaking down. Can you confirm if this is true or not? Thank you. That's the question, sir.
No, can you come again, please? I didn't get it.
Say, I read again, sir. Say, I heard from a good note that the relationship between the president and vice president is breaking down. Can you confirm if this is true or not? Thank you.
No, that's of course, that's a parlor gossip.
Yeah.
There is nothing like that. They are getting on together. And you've seen even in this last week alone, you saw the VP representing the president at several functions. The Navy 68th anniversary in Lagos, it was VP that went there. Is a lot of events that the president could not make, and you find his VP filling in the gap. So I don't know where those people, I mean the person who said that, where he got it from. As far as I know, they have good relationship, and that is the way it is.
Thank you, sir. Let me go to Engineer Olabode Jones. I see your hands up. Can you please unmute yourself show up your video, and then you have 1 minute, and the 1 minute starts from now, sir.
Thank you, my leaders and the coordinator. Thank you for giving the opportunity to me. I'm speaking from Russia. I have at least 3 questions, but let me go to 2. First, I want to answer from the spokesperson of the president, the Honorable Bayo Adebayo. The first question is this: the NG Care of Federal Government program. NG Care Federal Government program, which are supposed to be 3,000 per estate, with 2.3 million to each person to empower the middle class business for the promise of the Mr. President. Today, we heard from the senator from Ondo Central that these programs have turned to a state, and when they get to the state, they become 3,000 people become 100, and the 2.3 million has shot to maybe 100,000. What is the Mr. President doing on such program that they want to a betterment of the government and the citizens of Nigeria? That did they have any information such to follow up the program? Number 2, Mr. President promised of tackling the outside problem, which the dollars and every other thing. At the end, it will turn to the inner problem, which is the commodity, like something that the citizen will benefit from. Like today, the citizens are suffering serious.
Sorry, your 1 minute is up. I'm sorry, Chief may not be able to respond to that. Can you quickly move on to Mr. Benga Eshunubi? Benga Eshunubi, can you please unmute yourself? Can you help me unmute Benga Eshunubi? And then your 1 minute starts now, please.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Honorable.
Your video on, please.
Sorry, I work really late. Very quickly, let me use my 1 minute, please. Congratulations on the 1 year. Honorable, what are we doing about getting real, genuine foreign direct investment into Nigeria? We need to stop wasting our time. With all due respect, a lot of people are around Mr. President, and they're fooling themselves and not fooling us, in the sense that, why? Some of us know what it takes to drive in real, genuine foreign direct investment. I can be glad that coming onto this call, I've just finished talking to the Honorable Minister for Women Affairs. I've just been briefed about our own situation. And Mr. President also, I believe from the Chief of Staff Office, has attended to this investment that have been driving into Nigeria. It took 4 years. People don't understand what it takes getting FDI. I see people just messing around. I have the proof of fund. I know the people for over 9 years. You know, these are real money bags, you know, but day in, day out, we keep embarrassing the country with all these fictitious foreign direct investment coming. And it's very annoying. Thank you, you know.
Thank you, sir, Mr. Shonobi. And on this training again, I will quickly have Omi Media to please unmute yourself, put on your video, please. And if you're not putting on your video, definitely would not be able to have you speaking to us. I'm very sorry about that. So your video, you want to see your face, and then if you cannot do that, please, I'm sorry. I need to move on to that.
Hello, hello, sir. Hello?
Yes.
The video is muted from your side.
Sir? Okay, sorry. For now, we leave Omni Media. I just want to ask any questions there. Dr. M.O., please, if you can come on and have just your 1 minute and come over, sir. Dr. M.O., please.
Yes, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to unmute my video. It's not working. Okay. Hello?
Oh, okay, that's fine. Go on there. Go on. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Dr. Matthew Okoro. Okay, I'm calling from US. My question here, because when you look at the problem, okay, we had, it's about food security and transportation. So I want to know what stage we are on that, security and the transportation, because this is the primary cause of the problem. Because if people are well fed and there's no transportation issue, I think everything's going to calm down. Number one is transportation. Number two is food security. How much have been done and stage we are. Then number three, I heard that government procured tractors for the agricultural ministry. So I'm trying to see those are tractors, how they are being distributed. Is it only for the Abuja ministry, or is it distributed to the 36 states of Nigeria? Because this is very important. So
thank you, sir, for the last three questions. And we will now yield the floor to our guests at this time around to please respond to the three questions. The first one from Russia is talking about NGK federal government program, which a senator from Ondo State argued that it has been filmed down by the state government, probably hijacked by the state government. I think I had the video as well. I watched the video sometimes ago. And the second one is from UK, Mr. Wingers, talking about the new foreign direct investment. And the last question from Dr. Matthew Bokoro. Sir, can you please respond to these questions, sir?
Well, to the first person that raised issue about a federal government program, well, I'm not aware of the program that he was talking about, but because government has rolled out so many programs. The one I know from the IT side, that we are implementing what government calls the 3MTT program, which set the agenda to train 3 million Nigerians in ICT and also find jobs for them, even be able to offer them, some of them, to foreign countries if they need IT talent. I also know that government is implementing the program of assisting about 1 million or so nano businesses, and that program is on. So the program does not even need the businesses to come physically. These things are done online, and money is being disbursed to nano businesses. Also, government, of course, in terms of food palliatives, so many things have been done from the federal government, some of them being executed via the states. But the one he mentioned, I don't really understand what he was talking about. As to foreign direct investment to our country, this government, in fact, when President Tinubu came in, he's been embarking on several shuttle diplomacy to bring in the funds to this economy. As at last week, the Minister of Oil told us that about $15 billion in terms of investment in the oil sector is going to be announced in the next few weeks. So he said. The Trade Minister also said about $30 billion in terms of investment pledges is also coming. Some of them are already on the ground. But among is coming. If the man from Russia, if you have people who have funds who want to invest in Nigeria, the place to go to contact is not the Office of Chief of Staff. The place to contact is the Ministry of Trade, Investment and Industry. Those are the people who are going to take care of things like that. And if you're having problems, maybe you can contact people like us. We link you up so you can, whatever investment you want to bring to the country can be attended to. Well, food. This government, as far as September last year, announced what it called food emergency. And that was what even made the government to launch a dry season farming program in November of last year. The harvest is being done now. We expect that whatever is coming out of the farms, the yields, will bring down the prices of food. The high cost of food that people are talking about that food is, people are saying food is very expensive. So many factors are responsible for this. It's not just we have enough food in the country. And President Tinubu has resisted suggestions that we should import food because he believes, and I also share that belief, that our farmers, they have the capacity to feed us, all of us in Nigeria. The problem has been that from the farms to the market where food is reaches the consumer, there are all kinds of intermediaries in between. And some of these people initially we found that people were even hoarding food. We found governments like in Kano breaking food stores and making this thing available to our people. And this happens to a lot of people, Nigerians, some Nigerians are just simply wicked people. They want to make profit from the pains of their fellow Nigerians. The government is not relenting. Government is investing heavily in agriculture and is investing in roads to make sure that transportation cost comes down. Is investing in compressed natural gas, investing in vehicles, cars, motors, tricycles, and making them to use CNG, which we believe will drastically reduce the cost of moving around. It's doing all those things, and I think it's a matter of time. I'm sure this new year, the next 12 months, we'll find the prices of food really coming down. Whatever we are facing now, they are temporary pains. I believe that things are going to be much, much better in the new year. I mean, when I say the new year, I mean the second year of this administration. So many things have been done to ensure that people, even all these projects we are talking about, government doing the road project and so on, is to provide employment for our people and to ensure that at least money is put in our people's pockets so as to help them to survive the present difficulties economically. I also say my personal view. I think in the 70s, we had problems like this, food shortages. We don't have a matter of shortage. We don't have shortages now. We have food, but it's been overpriced. I remember in 1976, the military government of President Obasanjo launched what he called Operation Feed the Nation, whereby every Nigerian was employed to take to subsistence farming. I think we may have to go back to that kind of situation now. If you have a garden where you can plant maize or plant tomato or plant potato, people should be able to do it. Or even rear birds, have some small poultry at your backyard. Many Nigerians should be able to do so. Because I said the issue of food prices is because there are so many intervening factors, some of which may even be out of government control. There is food in our country. The problem is very expensive, and I say government is working very hard to make sure that the prices of these food items really come down. So that is what is going on. Government is not following itself. Government is doing all kinds of things to give our people, to ameliorate whatever difficulties our people are going through as of today.
Thank you, sir, my dear chief. I mean, then I think he has a question about the tractor. It was talking something about tractor. Maybe we have tractors. Where are they distributed or not? Do you know anything about that?
The issue of tractor, some states, you see, until Tinubu came, if I even up to today, as of today, many Nigerians, I think we forget that we are running a federal system. The federal government has its own responsibility. The states have their own responsibility. Everything is focused on the states, or the federal. The federal, you want federal government to feed the man who is in the village. What is the role of the state government? What is the role of the local councils? When we are creating 77 for local councils, the only was that we are going to bring government closer to the people. But every time we don't question these styles of government, the state, the local councils, what are they doing? We always focus on the federal government. The tractors we are talking about, recently the president went to launch some tractors in Niger State. The tractors were procured by Niger State government as its own contribution to boost agriculture. So all states of Nigeria should embark on similar ventures. Go and buy tractors, mechanized farming in your state. Local councils also get involved. The federal government is not going to feed us in our villages, our local councils, our states. That is their job. That's their job, to make sure that's the message Tinubu has been passing around. He said so recently when he met Arewa Consultative Forum and said, look, summon your governors, summon your local councils. What are they doing to improve things in their territory? It's not just the federal government. After all, when we share the federal revenue, the FAC, federal account, federal, what they call FAAC, when they share revenue, not all the money goes to federal government. At least 48% goes to the states and the local councils. In fact, what the federal government gets at the end of the day is not up to 52%, as we say, because 13% goes again to oil-producing states. Part of it, there are all kinds of things they deduct. By the time you look at what federal government gets, it's not up to 48%. So what are the subnationals doing about their own allocations? What are the councils doing? And that's the message in what I've been passing. That, look, don't just focus on federal government. Don't think federal government will plant food or will plant crops to feed everybody. It doesn't even have a land anyway. That is the job of the states and the local councils. And I can assure you some of the states are already waking up to this responsibility, going into agriculture, trying to boost agriculture in their domains. And I think by the time everybody does something, we are going to see the cost of food going down. We're going to see prices crashing. But the federal government zone is giving, only recently the federal government announced 100 billion naira worth of fertilizers. It will be given, not to, as the federal government doesn't have land, to the states. So this kind of program is on. And around December, the government, was even December early this year, the government opened the reserves and made available about 43,000 metric tons of grains to our people. In fact, bought 60,000 metric tons of rice from local millers. That's what I'm saying. There's food in Nigeria. 60,000 tons, local millers supply that. So there's rice. Farmers are planting. But I said we get things more done if everybody, the states, the councils, if they all join in this enterprise. That's how we can make food very, very cheap, very available, very affordable to our countrymen and women.
Thank you, sir, for your time. Thank you for the elaborate explanation. And I think what we can get tonight from here is that, according to Chief Bayo Onanuga, he said food prices to go down, and that's a very good message, and that's a message of hope that I want all of us to go on with. While I go back again to our guests on the platform, I will call on Omni Media. Sorry, Mr. Omni Media, you can please now unmute yourself and put your video that has been sorted. So your video can come up now as soon as you unmute. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
Straight to the point. My name is Omni Media from Lagos.
Okay, go on.
Fine. The first thing is our president is literate enough to talk to Nigeria directly. What happens to the presidential chart? That is number one. Number two, we have a lot of lofty programs, but it is not reaching the masses. I'm talking about the information. During the election, the campaign got to everywhere. But whenever the government is now doing things now, a lot of masses are not aware. Number two. Number three, information dissemination. I like a situation whereby we are now disseminating information in languages. But in Yoruba language, the tonal marks are not correct. And it's embarrassing to somebody like us. Onanuga, redo, mimido. Onanuga, redo, do, redo. So let us correct that one. Then run an inner road instead of coastal road. For example, the road from Abule Egba to Abeokuta, where the president made mention of Emilokan, is in terrible shape. Number four, the CNG situation. Let the president start the example by himself.
Thank you. I think Omi Media has sent about 4 questions that we can hear from him at the during the time he was on. He talked about media charts. He talked about people are not actually getting the information directly again as usual, like unlike when we were having the campaign. Then again, he talked about an inner road instead of the one we are doing now. I'm making mention of Abeokuta Expressway. The last time is that the also the CNG. Maybe I will like you to take on this question because we have 4 questions. And I mean, yeah.
Yes, I will respond to them. First of all, let me talk about the Abule Egba Abeokuta Road. People should at least get fast right. That road has been in a state of disrepair for close to 2 decades. President Obasanjo did not do anything about it, even though the road leads to his own town. Under subsequent government, Yaradua, Jonathan, for even President Buhari, nothing was done about that road. But I want to inform you that I think it was around January or December, the last on one of the FEC sessions, the Ogun State government, Dr. Governor Dapo Abiodun, undertook to do the Abule Egba, no, not even from Ota, from the boundary, from the Lagos boundary to Abeokuta. He's going to do it. The federal government has given him permission to do the road. So I'm sure very soon we see that road being reconstructed. The Lagos end of it, Abule Egba, to the boundary, will be done by the Lagos state government. So that program is already, the project is already, the deal has been and the seal. Ogun State government will repair not just repair, it's going to reconstruct the road all the way to Abeokuta. Then I've had people saying government is not disseminating this information. I don't know why our Nigerians say things, but I've had the people saying so, that government is not disseminating. Government is disseminating information. Government is, every time periodic announcements are made and so on. You see, the problem we have in our country today is that a lot of us we get lost sometimes in social media. We are not even watching television anymore. We are not listening to radio anymore. But government has several agencies of its own, radio, television, where information is dispersed, private stations and so on. So this is being done. As I said, that I think we are too busy going on Twitter or TikTok or Facebook. We are not listening. We are not listening to what government has been saying. The last speaker also said that president has not been speaking. Well, this is again not true. At every forum that this president has the opportunity to speak, he's been speaking to Nigerians. He did so on Thursday when he met the Arewa Consultative Forum. And he spoke straight from the heart. In fact, anybody who listens to the transcriptions again shown on television or even on social media, you understand what the president is saying. He spoke from the heart. He told people what the kind of thing that a president should be talking about the unacceptability of out-of-school children, unacceptability of poverty in the northern part of the country. He spoke about the role of the states and the local councils. He's been speaking. It's not when you sit down for a 1-hour program that you say he's speaking. He's been using every forum that he gets to talk to Nigerians, to let people know his philosophy and to let people know the programs that he has for this country. So he's been speaking. Then as to the inner roads, again, I said, I'm surprised that people are raising that it is a person based in Nigeria. At the launch of the Calabar-Lagos Road Highway, the president also launched that same day the reconstruction of 330 bridges and roads in our country. Roads abandoned by previous administration. It's able to do, it's announcing all these things because it's cocksure that's going to get the finances to do all those roads. One of them is the embarrassing, very scandalous one, the Lokoja-Benin Road. Awarded first by Obasanjo when he was president. The money for that project was used to fund an election. It was never done. Subsequently, they have been awarding until President Buhari came and gave it to BUA. BUA to use tax credit to do the road. Now, this present government now has said, look, BUA is going to go on site to reconstruct that road. Very vital road between northern Nigeria and Benin. It's one of the 330 roads that the government will do. So many bridges in a dilapidated condition and roads in many, even the east-west road in the Niger Delta, all the bad portion of that road, this presidency, President Tinubu's presidency, is going to reconstruct them and do them, just like it's going to devote money to do the iconic Lagos-Calabar road and the Sokoto-Ilela Badagry road. So the government is doing a lot of things. Then the last one also raised issue about the president setting examples by using CNG. CNG is not something we are going to adopt overnight. As we talk, we're still going to have fossil-driven vehicles. You are going to use fuel, you're going to use, petrol, you're going to use diesel. The CNG, compressed natural gas, provides us an alternative of using a fuel system that has very, very, very low carbon emission. That's what the president said, and it's cheaper. An experiment was done very recently. 2 vehicles left Abuja for Ibadan. And when they got to Ibadan to refill, the man who drove, or the person who drove petrol fuel vehicle spent 50-something thousand naira to refill, while the man who drove a CNG power vehicle spent 20-something thousand naira. So the difference is very clear. This government believes that Nigeria will save a lot of money by the time all of us start adopting CNG. And government is serious about it. All the recent approvals for vehicles from the customs, from the marine and blue economy, government said they must all be CNG powered. Even generators to be bought by the FCT, government said they must all be CNG powered. So it's a gather process. Government is going to, many vehicles are going to be converted to use CNG. Even I, on my own personal level, I've sent one of my cars to be changed to CNG. So it's a gather process. I'm sure in the next 1 year or 2 years, you find many vehicles on our roads having CNG. As I said, it's cheaper fuel, and we have abundant gas in our country to use CNG. So those are the things government is doing. It does not mean that we are going to abandon petrol-driven vehicles or diesel-driven vehicles. It's gradual as we are going to migrate all of us to CNG. It's cheaper fuel and low emission, carbon emission.
Thank you, sir. Let me welcome my host back. And don't forget, sir, we have Honorable Stanley Nkwocha on call as well. So probably I will want to direct the next set of questions to him so that he will be part of the discussion, sir. Thank you, sir. So my chief can relax a little bit for 2 seconds. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, my co-host, and thank you for holding the fort while I was away for a bit. Again, I'm pleased to announce that our second special guest of honor is back on the conference now. Honorable Stanley Nkwocha, the spokesman, senior special assistant to the president on media and communications in the vice president's office, is back on now. So I think before we go back to the floor, I want to yield the floor to him, just like I did to Chief Onanuga earlier on, so that he can give us his own take on the last 12 months of this administration. We just want to know, because everything is about perspectives now. Again, because both of them are from the presidency, I'm sure he too will have 1 or 2 things to say. What would you say will be some of the giant strides that have been made by this administration in the last 12 months? And we know there are challenges that the administration met. How have this administration, in your own reckoning, have been able to overcome those challenges in order to be able to make those giant strides that have been made in the last 12 months, sir? You have the floor now, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. First of all, you addressed me as Honorable Stanley. My name is John Stanley, so maybe we'll leave the Honorable for now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And then secondly, I want to sincerely apologize for joining in late. As you're aware, the Vice President was in Kwara State this afternoon. We just landed, as a matter of fact. That's why you can see me still in the car, because if I choose to drive to the house, there's no way I could meet up. So I just have to stay back at the airport and, of course, try to join you and, of course, join this beautiful program. So warm evening to you. Of course, so to let me say a warm evening to my boss, Bayo Onanuga, who is there holding forth. Man, I respect so much. Bayo, a warm evening to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. All right, so the renewed hope agenda, has it delivered or not? Let's look at where we're coming from and where we are today. And simple truth remains that in the history of Nigeria, there has never been, and I make bold to say, never been any leader, any president that has been so committed to revamping Nigeria, as it were. You know, you could easily mention some challenges. Yes, challenges abound, but what are the steps being put in place to revamp these challenges? These are the key issues. In the history of Nigeria, key institutions, never before. You could have strong, you can't have strong economies without building strong institutions. And that is where the president has shown capacity, very, very bold capacity. He's shown political will to definitely deliver. On the vice president side, we've seen a vice president who has no other ambition, who has no other agenda, who has no other priority than ensuring that the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is carried to the letter. In other words, each and every drive, each and every program, each and every policy, each and every statement that the vice president makes is in tandem with the vision and aspiration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I'll give you the simple facts to buttress my assertions this evening. First of all, let's look at the diplomacy, international diplomacy, which the vice president has embarked on. Of course, upon resumption, he's been to Russia, he's been to China, and of course, for instance, the road initiative in China, for instance, that was where the federal government got the recommitment of China to plunge in, to begin to plunge in back resources that it had later to abandoned. The Maiduguri-Kano road was abandoned. Same thing too for the Lagos-Ibadan road. These were all projects that China had abandoned. But upon these visits, we of course seen that, look, China has recommitted and of course beginning to refinance these particular projects. Of course, too, at the National Economic Council, we've seen a president too that has marshaled out his plan for the youth. And for the very first time in the history of this country, we have countries that have committed well over $617.7 million. IDA's program geared towards empowering the Nigerian youths. And the thing about empowering Nigerian youth through talent initiative is this: it's not segregational, it's not a respecter of certificates, it's not a respecter of qualifications. If you have the talent, come on board. And so this type of strategy is one that cuts across all sector of the economy, all sector of the family, all sector of the society, regardless of where you come from, regardless of your background. So what it means is that you can stay in the village and yet, through your talent, get empowered by the federal government through this noble initiative. This is for the first time happening in the history of this country. Again, too, I also take you into cognizance to the agricultural sector, where you have the vice president bringing in noble initiatives, supporting the programs of the president. Let me also talk to you about the Pulaku initiative. We know quite right that one of the causes of crisis between the herdsmen and, of course, farmers' crisis has always been about the issue of moving cows. Now look at what the president did. He introduced the Pulaku initiative, being championed by the vice president. The Pulaku initiative is a program that is driven across the northwestern states, where particularly this, and of course to the north central, where we have this particular issue, because I know that Benue State too is included in this particular initiative. And the whole initiative is about getting communities, villages, giving them education, building schools, building power projects, making sure that, look, they have ranches to build on, organizing communities in such a way that we could now find a way of mitigating movement of cows. Okay, and then of course to reducing in effect the clashes, and of course bolster the peace and security in the country, which has an effect in also popping up agricultural produce too, and of course too, the GDP of the country eventually. All right. At the National Economic Council chambers too, we have, for instance, the departmentalization of nutrition, which is also seen as one of the core products that will make sure that, look, when we have departmentalization of nutrition in each and every ministry, department, and organ, what this does in the long run is that, look, Nigerians, especially our young ones, okay, which, and of course, vital statistics show that, look, the average Nigerian, the average youthful age of a Nigerian is about 16.9. That's a very serious, young, powerful force that we must take into cognizance in our policies and aspirations. And so what that particular program is aiming at is that, look, right from childhood, we begin to nurture our own children, we begin to young our own generation to make them emboldened and empower them for what the future is all about. And of course, too, let me also make bold to say that, look, we have also the SME clinics, which have gone around. As at the last count, well over 222,000 Nigerians have benefited from these schemes and more. Recently, too, if you followed up, you would have also seen that the Vice President signed the ASO Accord on Economic and Financial Inclusion for Poverty Alleviation. Of course, too, at the same time, too, you will find out that, look, last time when the Vice President visited the United States of America, he got John Drill to set up, to commit to setting up a fertilizer mechanization plant in Bauchi State and the FCT. These are historic plans that moves and noble ideas that have never been done before. At each and every time the president makes a commitment, he backs it up with action. Take the budget for 2024. A whopping 1.1 trillion naira or more was released to the health sector. Never in the history of Nigeria have we seen that type of amount released to the health sector. It only takes a president who is committed to health ideals, who is committed to revamping the health sector, who is committed to definitely improving the welfare of Nigerian citizens, making them, giving emboldenment, making sure that, look, for each and every particular Nigerian that seeks to vie for, that seeks to commit himself to the health ideals that each and every Nigerian that seeks to definitely thrive well is given the opportunity at very low cost. So whether it's in defense, whether it's in budget, whether it's in health, whether it's in the food agricultural sector, you have a president that has so empowered Nigerians, giving budgets that have never been seen before, giving budgets that have been monumental. And so, like Bayo Onanuga said, I believe that it's just a matter of time. It's not the first year in office of this president, and we've seen the multidimensional and policies that he has brought onto this particular administration. We see each and every one of his ministers, even every one of his lieutenants working towards his own goals and objectives. Do we have challenges? I beg to say yes, we do have challenges. But these challenges, yes, will come. But the question is, are we doing enough to make sure that, look, we get Nigeria back on track? And I must boldly say yes, that the president is institutionalizing strong policies. The president has the willpower. He's not shy of taking strong economic decisions. He's going onto our basic necessities head on. He's not shying away from it. In places where we have issues, the president has not hiding it. He has locked onto it, and by the special grace of God, I have no doubt whatsoever that this is just 365 days, that in the next couple of days, trust me, it's going to be, look at the economic rating of Nigeria. It's improved. Most statistics you look at have day by day have been positively increasing. So it tells you that, yes, we are not there yet, but the policies and programs of this administration is having greater impact. Gradually, we'll get out of the woods, and gradually we'll set Nigeria where the president wants it. And gradually, at the end of the day, Nigerians will look back and say, wow, this is the man who definitely changed the status quo. This is the man who definitely turned the gavel. This is the man who definitely put us on the right path to a greater nation that which each and every one of us look up to.
Thank you so very much for that elaborate expose on the activities of the government. I think I wrote in my note this morning that I feel that we Nigerians are blessed, especially for this special edition, because all along we've been having just one VVIP. But today, the presidency just deems it fit to bless us with with not just one, but two VVIPs. And both of you seems to be on fire today, giving us blow by blow what the government is doing to ameliorate the sufferings of the masses. And thank you so very much for for that elaborate expose, sir.
Thank you so much.
I think I've been blessed by it, and I believe every other person on this conference, and even those watching on social media are blessed too. Thank you ever so much. I hope you stay around, because we are going into the question and answer session now. We were doing it before you came, but we had to pause it so that we can hear from your side to end. Were we blessed by you? I think we certainly are. Thank you so very much. So hopefully you'll be able to hang around to
I will stay around. If my boy is there, who am I not to stay around? Definitely I will.
Thank you so very much, sir. We really like that. Thank you so much. So because we work as a team here, you saw earlier on Honorable Bayo Onanuga took over from me whilst I was trying to sort out a few things. And I will use the floor again to Honorable Udeme to take on the questions from the participants. Usually, you know how we do it, 3 or 4 questions. Then then our special guest will answer the question. You are free to choose which of our VVIPs to take on those questions. So Honorable Udeme, you have the floor now. Let's go through the participants now and give them the floor, to ask their questions. Thank you very much.
Wow, I've been blown away by such remarkable speech by, I'll permit me again to say Honorable Stanley. I know you don't want to, but just permit me to say Honorable Stanley, because, I've been blown away. And thank you so much for coming around. Our esteemed guest, Chief Bayo. Thank you so much again, for this speech. It's really enlightening. I always say that what we have under 2 hours, a lot of times you don't even see it out there. When I mean by you don't see it out there in depth, in this, comments, in these questions, in this analysis and all that, where you have so many interactions, so I want to say thank you so much for gracing this occasion and speaking to Nigerians in Nigeria and indeed in the diaspora. I'll be taking some questions. Please, if you, again, just to reiterate that, if you have the opportunity to put on your camera, please do. We have iPhone. Your name is not there, but please, can you put on your camera if you have questions? Please indicate, is it if it's Chief Bayo Onanuga or Honorable Stanley Nkwocha. Please, can you kindly unmute iPhone, please, if you put on your camera, if you can. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, yeah, because, my name is Kolawole Saido. I'm speaking from London. I want to commend the 2 guests and the moderators as well. I think this is a very, very important program. My own question, someone has asked it before, but I'm just going to ask again. What is the government doing about state police establishment? I think this is very, very important, and it needs to be established as quickly as possible, because in as much as we have a robust policy towards advancing Nigeria economically by Mr. President, no one is going to come and invest in a country that is not secured. I think security should be of more priority, and government the president need to come up with robust policies to establish state police as one of the strategies, and also to tell us what they are doing to tackle insecurity in Nigeria. And regarding dissemination, I know Uncle Bayo Onanuga was saying about information being disseminated, yes, but is this getting to the
your 1 minute unfortunately is over. Please, once you're called, let us try as much as possible to make our questions very succinct, so that put it across so that we can get it answered. So I will go to Jalil Aziz for the second question. I know I didn't get your name again, but you talked about the establishment of state police. So we have Jalil Aziz. You have the floor.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to the guest for making yourself available, and congratulations on the first year anniversary of the administration. Quickly, I would like to ask, in terms of allocation going to the state, what is the federal government doing in terms of monitoring how this fund is being spent before they come back the next month to collect their own allocation? Because I think, at the end of the day, if there's no proper management of this fund, then the blame comes back to the federal government. That's one. Chief Bayo Onanuga, if I may ask, what is the relationship or the synergy between your office and the office of the media special advisor to the president on the media and publicity? Because there's kind of a confusion, kind of information being dished out as to the president is going to address the joint session of the House of the legislature, kind of a thing. So there were kind of confusion around that. Then number three,
Thank you so much for your question, Jalil Aziz. So what I intended to do is, Honorable Stanley, if you don't mind to please kindly address our first question, talking about the state police establishment, what is being done, why it's not really taking effect, as our speaker or the participant has asked. Thank you.
Okay. So the issue of state police is actually an issue that has come up in the National Economic Council, spearheaded by the Vice President. And of course, too, Mr. President himself at some fora has also spoken on the issue. The truth about it is that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not against state police. It's an option that's on the table. He has not shied away from that view. He has strong views on it. And he's committed to ensuring the protection of lives and properties in Nigeria and for Nigerians. And if state police is going to help, certainly take it from me, the president does not have an issue with that. And then guess what? At the last count, when the issue came up at the National Economic Council, remember that this is also a constitutional issue, because the federal government would not have the power to go the whole hog and enforce state policing, given the dichotomy in our own leadership structure here in Nigeria. Now, as at the last count, the first time it came up and states were asked to submit their own memorandum on state police, 16 states did submit. At the next meeting, 26 states have submitted. Out of the 26 states that have submitted, I think about 23 states are in support of state policing, while about 3 states still have issues with it. They're trying to work out modalities to see what framework it could be adopted before they either accept or not accept that position. So what does that mean? From the way it's going, it looks like by special grace of God that it might come to fruition. But for now, it is a subject that is not totally within the purview of Mr. President or the federal government. It still has to do with the states, given the the Constitution, given the constitutional space we have. Okay, so it's going to be a gradual process. States are going to definitely making their submissions, and afterwards it will be sent to I guess it will be sent. The bill will be sent to the National Assembly, and by special grace of God, when the National Assembly passes it, it then becomes law, and of course we'll now have state policing. And that is just the base. It's an issue that has come up, and it's the truth is the state policing. If you look at the way it has worked in the US, all right, you could easily say, okay, yes, let's all go for it, okay, given the given the high land mass in the US and of course the states, but somehow too they've been able to work around it, and of course to have that networking, between states, such that even when you have interstate crimes, it's really easy. They usually collaborate. Now, those are I guess the areas where people have the states will have to now look at and see. Let's work out the perfect plans, the perfect concerns, and of course, you have issues like wouldn't there be abuse in terms of the state executives having total control of the police within their in their arms and everything. So these are all the concerns. But by the special grace of God, I see personally, and that's my personal view now. I see it happening. It's gonna be something that we'll all look forward to. But for now, the government will due process follow what delayed rules and regulations are. Follow the process, and and if you know the president is not one who uses the power of his office to railroad or to enforce his beliefs or his policies. But before now he fought for this democracy we are all enjoying. So he believes in this democracy, and so it's going to be a step by step. So that at the end of it all, when it is that look, Nigerians have accepted state policing, it is not just going to be a decision by the federal government or Mr. President. It is going to be a nationalistic decision in national interest.
Thank you so much for that response. Key points I've taken out is that, for every decision, because Nigeria is a democracy, we have, the three arms of government. You have the executive, you have the legislative, and you have the judiciary. So everybody working in hand, and even the governors coming together, looking at the benefits, looking at the pros, looking at everything in total, and then delivering on that verdict of state policing. Moving on to the other questions by Jalil Aziz, I would give my special VVIP Chief Bayo to look at those questions and prefer some of the answers to it. He was talking about allocation going to the states, relationship, between the synergy, I would say, between various departments in the presidency. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Demen. Let me just say that way that the federal government cannot be a financial police to the states. You see, this is a democracy. And the president has been hinting at it, saying that all the time, that the states should do their own part of the bargain in providing the dividend of democracy to our people. I think the job of monitoring goes to the citizens in every state, the NGOs in every state. To take their government to task about what they are using the money for. In 2023, for instance, the FAC, what we call FAC in Nigeria, gave about almost 4 trillion to the states, 4 trillion. And it's what they got was actually more than what they got in 2022. And the states, the people living in every state must begin to find a way of asking their governors, what are they using the money for? And what they get is not a secret. Every month that this money is allocated, the federal government publishes the data so that people will know what goes to every state. So I will urge our fellow citizens, monitor your governors, ask them questions about how they spend the money they get. It's a freebie from the center that they get every month, and they should be able to use it very well. And we've seen some of them, finding some of them, they are using the money very well. When these problems of ending subsidy and trying to harmonize exchange rates, some states came in boldly to make sure that they at least try to institute some programs to alleviate whatever problems emanated from those policies. So as I said, the ball is in the court of our citizens in every state. Monitor your governance, ask questions. That is about that. Somebody also asked me, the person also asked about whether there's any problem between my own office as information and strategy and the media and publicity. Well, there's no problem. What we have is just a slight misunderstanding, and I think the matter has been resolved. You don't expect to see that kind of thing again. So the statement I issued, there was no falsehood in it. There was nothing false about it. It emanated from what I was asked to do. And if you issued a counter one, it was because we didn't have the full information as to why I issued my own. I said it's a small snafu. I think this problem has already been resolved. Don't want really to dwell on it anymore.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the responses. In fact, this even is talking to me as one of the citizens or, origins of both, because I was born in Lagos and my state of origin is Akwa Ibom. For us, the onus is on us as the citizens of these states, like you rightly said, sir, to hold our governors, our councillors, our local government chairmen, accountable, ask the questions, and, as much as possible, even wherever we are, try and do some of the monitoring. Our time is really going fast spent, so I would call on 3 people or participants. Please, if you can direct your questions, because we have 2 very, very important guests in our midst. So if you can direct your questions, or if you want to throw it across, open to any of our guests, special guests to give answers to. So I would call 3 of our guests, our participants. The first person is going to be Ayodeji Bakare, architect Kende Oluremi. Please get ready, and Benga Shonubi too should always also get ready. So Ayodeji Bakare, if you can please unmute Ayodeji, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you all very much. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Well, I will crave your indulgence to give me more time. As a former spokesperson of the campaign in the diaspora, I know it's 1 minute. Now, let me start by saying this. I would implore the team of the presidency to try to preach more on strong institutions, strong structures. Strong systems are not a strong man. So when I was interviewed on AIT, they kept on asking me questions and I kept on directing them. I said, do you want a strong man or strong institutions? And now you can point out to what the president was saying about local government autonomy. And one thing is, when we are communicating to people, let us always ensure that we have verification and or evidences, because when I try to communicate, I will always say, go and look at this or that. Now, when you're talking about the local government autonomy, you tell them, according to section 7 of the Nigerian Constitution, 99 as amended, this is what is said there. Someone talked about federal allocation also. You also need to understand that in federal allocation, states are also supposed to give local government allocations also. So when we're talking about this local government autonomy, it is not also federal giving states money. State is also supposed to give local money. So these are the kind of communication that we should be letting out there. Also, someone talked about FDI. It's not all about FDI. We should be preaching local direct investments also. We have seen that when we have this portfolio investments that the CBN says, hey, you know what? Come and buy bonds and stock and treasury bills and all. It is always oversubscribed. That means there's liquidity in the economy. People have Naira. Push them. Look at all these different companies leaving Nigeria today. They can't carry their assets. I'm a manufacturing engineer, so I understand all of this. They can carry their assets. Start advertising to people. These assets are staying here. Let's see how people can come together and tie their money. And I don't mean like the big boys in the private, like big boy private sectors. I'm talking of people that will bring their 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira, and 5,000 naira. For people that are talking about what's it called, state policing, you have to be mindful. About 12 states today are not even paying minimum wage of 30,000 naira. Where would they get monies to pay for our for state police? And also, people that are talking about state police need to go and read up on the history of Nigeria. Go and read up on Operation Wet here in 1964 and especially 1964, 1965, and see what regional, because we had regional policing at the time. Go and see what regional policing was used to do to people in the north and especially in the southwest where we had Operation Wet here. Now, also, the president talked about agriculture, lands belonging to states. I want to.
Right. So I know Ayo Dej Bakare, you said you wanted quite a lot of time. I think you spoken well, and I don't know if any of our special girls want to just give a quick response to what is just been talked about. He's mentioned quite a lot of aspects, policies and all that. I would probably throw the floor to our guest, Chief Bayo, if you can, give us one or two, because it's quite packed in terms of what Ayo has raised. If you can give us an insight into responses, please. Thank you.
No, I think I share his belief that you should build institutions, and not just institutions are very important. To make our democracy enduring, we need institutions. We really make them very, very strong. That's how we can really survive. So the issue that he raised about state police, whether the states can really finance state police. Yes, also I agree with what he's saying, but it's not, as of now, I have some statistics here. If you look at what the states, despite all their high GR or whatever they collected from the federal allocation, many of them, including even Lagos, they are in deficit. Many of them, out of 36 states, only Anambra show that you could stay above the water. When you net is a current and also is a capital. Only Anambra show black from what we have here. All other states, they said they have borrowed too much money or something like that. But I think this issue can be resolved. As I said, the federal government is making efforts to increase the revenue accruing to the federation. And I'm sure by the time, if the decision is ever arrived at by the National Economic Council, I think something will be done to see how the state can be supported financially to establish state police. It's very, very important. We need it. Policing cannot be done by the center anymore. And the center has actually failed in securing all parts of Nigeria. There are so many ungoverned spaces in our country, and we really need to secure every inch of this country. Don't let us bring in all these issues that in the First Republic or whatever, we have problems. We always have problems. I think the kind of fear that we have was the kind of fear we had when they are going to give licenses to private broadcasters. You say, oh, they will make Nigeria a mess, they will create problems all over the place. But here we are. More than 20, 30 years since Ongida first gave a license to Raymond Dukwesi, we've seen the flourishing of more and more private radio stations and TV stations, and this country has not broken into pieces. I think the thing is that setting up a state police, you just need to set up the rules. Once you have the rules, we are not going to have problems. What we are going to have is more effective policing of all the Nigerian space. So let us not entertain any fear at all.
Thank you so much.
And if I may add to what Bon just said, you know, I mean, it's what we've been happening on here since the moment we came on. I came on board. I started talking about how the president is committed to building strong institutions. You know, when Barack Obama came to Africa and was in Ghana, he made that particular statement that look, what makes nations thrive is not about how powerful or strong an individual as the president is, but rather the concreteness, the viability of our institutions. And that is what the president has been committed to doing since day one when he came up. Nobody would have taken some decisions he took right from it. But look, he stared at it and said, look, if we don't pull off some of these monsters that are on our highways, there's just no way that we can be able to have smooth acceleration and a movement. And of course, the gentleman spoke about state policing, which Mr. Bayo, of course, spoke. The truth is, just like he said, it's not within the purview of and sole authorization of the federal government. The states are involved, the subnationals are involved. The subnationals will have to also make, if the subnationals majority make that decision, for God's sake, can we stop there? It's not going to happen. We can stop that, all right? They'll definitely, majority will definitely have their way, and then the minority, sadly. So that's just the way it is. There's no painting it around. And then it does appear that, look, everybody has agreed that, look, that at the center needs to be fortified. And if state policing is going to help fortify our security, and I don't see anything wrong with it. Yes, concerns like he has raised are always there and will always be there. But I think it's about time we take some calibration, may take some measurements. And if the way to go is state policing, let's give it a try and see.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this is why I love this platform. This platform, we have genuine Nigerians, you know, they care about, you know, their families, they care about, you know, their household, their livelihoods, you know, and the nation in particular. And that's why we are in this platform to, you know, talk about, you know, what affects us individually, policies that would affect individually and even as a nation, you know, affect our businesses, affect our lifestyle. And I'm really, really glad for platforms like this, or this platform that we have brought in, you know, our VVIPs that have come, you know, allayed our fears, you know, spoken about, you know, policies, procedures, and every other thing that, you know, the Renewed Hope mandate is establishing, you know, for the progress, you know, of Nigeria and Nigerians in it. I would call on, like I said, 3 or 4 other people, but before that, well, after calling, I would hand over again to our chief host, Barrister J.K. Adebola, who is my boss and my big boss, and you know, I'll hand over. But before then, permit me to call on Architect Kehinde Oluremi. Please get ready. You're going to be unmuted. Then Gbenga Eshonubi and Samsung SM Builder Ogedengbe Mohammed and Dr. Aisat Baja Biamila. Please get ready. So I would hand over now to Barrister J.K. Adebola. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for a wonderful job, Honorable Deme. We have overshot our time by 1 minute, and we have about 10 hands up. So what I'm going to do is, because usually we would have stopped by now, because that has happened quite for a couple of conferences, and I don't want that to be a pattern. So what I'm going to do is I will not be taking any more questions after all these 10. I will manage to squeeze them in 10 minutes so that we can close quickly. So I'll be calling them. If you have your question, please say who you want to answer your question so that they will take note. And when it is time for them to speak, they will simply go on to it. So I will take 5 questions at a time and another 5 at a time. All of you will have 1 minute each. After these 10 people, there will be no more. We will not give room for anybody to ask any questions anymore. So let's go quickly now to Architect Kehinde, please. You have the floor for 1 minute. Thank you. Please unmute Architect Kehinde, please.
Hello. Good day, everyone. My name is Architect Kehinde. I'm speaking from Russia, and I'm just a strong member of APC in Russia. We all believe in the presidential dream. Well, nobody's doubt of its ability. I have one question I want to ask. One of the things we have as Nigeria is our resources, human resources. But we have a lot of them in the diaspora, just wilding out there in the diaspora. What is the government doing to engage these people in diaspora? We have seen one in the energy department that was brought from London to come and share one of the departments what it's doing, and the hope that Nigeria will have electricity everywhere. There are so many of us in the diaspora today that are willing to come and contribute to Nigeria. What is the government doing at home to engage us fully so that we can make this renewal possible? That's number one question. Second question, we talk about insecurity of food. What government doing to organize the federal government, not even state government now, to organize food security in Nigeria, organizing warehouses where this food are stored and distributed to the state.
Thank you so very much. We'll move on swiftly now to Benga Eshonubi. You have 1 minute, please, quickly. Oh, please. Okay, it looks like Benga Eshonubi is gone. Okay, we'll move on.
I was muted.
Okay, all right.
Okay, gentlemen, Oga Nweke, well done. The Vice President office is doing a fantastic job. The President is laying the table, taking ministers to the right place. But my question is, some of these dead woods, I'm sorry to say with all due respect, I hope when the President decides to reshuffle, no sentiment. Nigeria is too big for anybody. Please, no sentiment. Some of this deadwood needs to go because I know what I'm talking about. I'm not here to drag on Honorable Onanuga. When I say what it took for me to get into the presidency, I know what it took. I've been in all those places you've mentioned. I know all of them. I've worked with 3 different administrations. So I know what I'm talking about. And by the grace of God, in the next few weeks or months, the entire Nigeria will see what we're talking about here. So please, my question is, the dead wood, both the essays, the SSAs, the ministers, they're on social media creating content. Who needs content? We need physical evidence. And the solution to Nigeria is production and industrialization. You can talk as much as you want, but if you don't do those 2 things, Nigeria will cease to move forward. I'm sorry to say. Production, industrialization, that is the solution. You cannot fight dollar. Let the BRICS do that.
Thank you very much. We'll move on swiftly again to Samsung SMA. Samsung SMA 145R. You have the floor now. The last person we will be calling will be Senator Umar Farouk. We will not be taking any more questions after that. So, yes, you have the floor now, sir. Samsung SMA, are you still with us? Okay, we'll move on swiftly to Bildagbe Ogedegbe Mohammed.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Ogedegbe Mohammed, calling from Ondo State. Sir, I'm an insider. I work in the local government. Yes, this affords me to know and to understand what actually has been going on in the local government service. I want to beg, this autonomy issue that the federal government is approaching through courts is a welcome development. But I don't know whether it will involve administrative autonomy, whereby the local government election, the election at the local government level will be conducted from the national, as in from INEC, not this state INEC, because the state INEC is a shambles. They will just stay in one office and put a AYZ name and announce as the winner. A situation whereby only one political party will win an election in the all local government of a state. the federal government should, if they do not include that, they should do that. It must include administrative autonomy. Then the second question, it has been usual on this issue of dichotomy between.
Thank you so very much, sir. Your time is up. Next is Dr. Aisha Gbadabi Amila. You have 1 minute, madam.
Hello, I'm not sure if anyone can hear me. I need to be muted. All right. Oh, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Barrister Jibola. Well done for all your hard work. Really appreciate everything you're doing. And the Renew Hope, group. I don't know. This question goes to any of our VVIP. My question is quite straightforward. I know we're talking about the cost of food items in Nigeria being quite expensive. I just want to know the role of the trading standards in Nigeria, because I don't seem to think there's any price fix on items and food in Nigeria. I know there's poverty, like food issues in Nigeria at the moment, and people keep shouting, oh, hunger, hunger, hunger. There's so much food in Nigeria, but someone wakes up in the morning, an item that they were selling for like 500 naira, someone just decides to put 1,000 naira on it straight away, and no one questions them. So what's the role of trading standards? What's this new administration going to do about that? Because I think even doing all these agricultural things, and people have, the price have to be fixed. There has to be a law. There has to be someone that governs that and monitor it to make sure people don't just wake up and put any price on it. So all those sort of things, I'm quite worried about that, because a lot of people just do whatever they want and they get away with it. If there is a
Thank you so very much. The last question on this segment will be Osita Okechukwu. Osita Okechukwu. Then I'll yield the floor to Chief Onanuga to answer the question, the last 5 questions. Then I'll move on again back. Then Honorable Stanley will answer the other one. So you have the floor now, sir.
Mine is complementary to the excellent presentation of Chief Onanuga and Stanley Nkwocha. I just wanted to say that once more, we have noticed the audacity and the bold, courageous step President Tinubu is taking by approaching the Supreme Court to make sure that its local government will have financial autonomy. Because since 1999, each time there's alteration or amendment of the Constitution, the issue of the autonomy of local council have been on the desk, and the state governors, through their legislatures, had morphed it. It was by force, kind of, that in the 8th National Assembly that they agreed to allow the state legislature and the state judiciary to have first-line charge of funding. Now that President Tinubu had gone to the Supreme Court, I think it's the biggest option for us to have the local government to manage their own fund. Because they say that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. So if the local government can have their fund in that direction, the dividend of democracy will go more to the rural citizenry. And I also appreciate what the government is doing by the fact that they have decided to go into mortgage mass housing to help to alleviate the suffering of the workers in terms of rentage. I just need to add that my friend Onanuga Nkwocha did not remember to add the issue that the federal government is also looking into an addition to alleviate the suffering of the workers by going to mass housing. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. So I'll yield the floor now to Chief Bayo Onanuga to answer those questions. Then I'll go back to the floor to call 5 more people. I will make sure that I call people who have not had the floor before. I'll call them first before I call those who have had the floor before. Thank you so very much. Chief Onanuga, you have the floor now, sir.
Well, I just there are so many questions being asked and some suggestions, which I think we've taken on board. I want to respond to the issue raised by our sister, Aisat Bajabe Amila, on the need for price control. Well, I think the Nigerian government has done this in the past and it didn't work. You only control, you can only fix prices of what you control, what you produce. If you don't produce, you don't bother to control, otherwise it will have its own effect. What you have found is that a lot of people in our country, as I said earlier on this forum, I think naturally some Nigerians are wicked. They just want to make gain from the sufferings of their fellow Nigerians. Look at the issue of fuel. Anytime they get a hint that there is a logistic problem of fuel, the next thing you go to a petrol station, they say there's no fuel, and they have in their tank. And the next thing you see are people hawking fuel by the roadside from the station that said there is no fuel. So but I said, no, this government will not go into fixing prices. At the time you produce plenty of commodities and so on and so forth, the prices, no, we don't need to fix the prices. People will sell at an equilibrium and even at a lower price. That's the way I see it. I said many suggestions are made, and these are things that we have noted, and I don't really need to waste our time commenting on them. I think I'm going to use the floor to my brother, Stanley, to respond to other questions. I have to run to somewhere now. Okay. I will not be able to stay for the rest of the program. I've enjoyed my stay on this program. I've enjoyed all the questions being asked and so on. And I think I want to commend everybody involved with this initiative for the good work you guys are doing.
Thank you so very much, sir, for obliging us with your. We know how busy you guys are, and for you to spend 2 hours with us, I think means a lot. So thank you so very much, and God bless you, sir. Honorable Stanley, permit me, I will continue to call you Honorable until this program finishes.
It's okay. I'll just wrap up in the next 10 minutes, if you don't mind.
Okay, then, no problem.
Yes. Okay. So on what the president has been doing, to encourage production. You remember that, look, PEBEC, which has to do with presidential initiative on the ease of doing business, was one of the noble objectives that the president gave bite on assumption of duty. And now you've seen that, look, because I totally agree that, look, we have to boost production internally, okay? We also must not also forget the fact that, look, we need FDI, whether we like it or not. We need investors to come into the country, of course, help, of course, boost our manufacturing capacities. And of course, to the president on his part, he has also given tax incentives, subsidies to local manufacturing and industrial investors. The Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms was also initiated for just to help us drive our local production process. And of course, to the uniform forex market, which the president did also move into, was also a strong point in ensuring that, look, we have a strong market. The market forces are not at the will of manipulators, turned upside down. So we could give some bite too. Promoting special economic zones too for export manufacturing, the special the SAPZ zones, which the president also a presidential initiative too, to help make sure that, look, that local manufacturers are giving that bite, are giving that support, feel the impact of government. Feel that yes, this president means well for them and has them at heart. Of course, too, we also have vocational training programs, to build up skilled industrial workers. Just yesterday, at the presidential villa, the vice president did inaugurate a particular the skilled core team to help ensure that, look, let's begin to look at those Nigerians that we could help with skilled opportunities. So because it might interest you to know the kind of skill and skilled workers were brought from abroad. That should be not when we have the willpower, not when we have the manpower, not when we have youthful, not when we have folks who are willing and can perfectly fit into that particular space. So each space is vital for the president, and he's been ensuring that, look, no space is left unturned, so long as, look, it's going to be of optimum advantage to us too. And then, of course, too, he spoke about bringing in foreign experts. And the president is not shying away from that. I want to check out the Minister for Health. It might interest you to know that Ali Pate left a multi-million-dollar job over there in the US to come lend a support to this president. Oh, I doubt if his salary is even up to $500 every month per month. But you could see a president who knows what he wants, went for someone who he believes knows his onions, and of course has come in. And you could see for yourself some of the inputs that this particular Minister of Health is now bringing. Hannatu Musawa, the Minister for Arts, Creative and Digital Economy, was also in the US 2 months ago. She went around some states, talking to Nigerians, engaging them. Okay, let's also not forget the fact that Honorable Dabiri Arewa has been doing too. With her agency to ensure that, look, all Nigerians, wherever you are in every part of the world, have a sense of belonging. If you can support, come on board and support. It's not usually easy when you feel okay, you are being neglected. Okay, let's all come together. Let Nigerians come together. Let's all come together and show what we can do. Of course, there's a popular saying that not everyone can whistle a symphony. It takes an orchestra to do that. Okay, so what it means is that all hands must be on deck. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not one who shies away from capacity, who shies away from intellect, who shies away from vibrancy, who shies away from talent, who shies away from industriousness when he sees one. And so these are things that we must all gather around to see. That if you have anything you can contribute, you can contribute, and of course come on board. Let's put hands together. It's not just about the job of the president and the vice president. They are the leaders. We are the followers. And I believe in all sincerity that I've never seen a president that is so committed. I tell people, what do you think the president lacks in life? What does he lack in life? What do you think he needs right now? For those of us who see him from close range, we see his devotion, we see his commitment, we see his mentality during meetings, we see the way he tackles issues. You see a man that wants to carve a niche for himself, that wants to make an imprint in the lives of Nigerians, a man that wants to write his name on the golden sands of time, and of course, on solid rock. He just wants to make a positive impact. And for me, who has been here by the special grace of God, seeing what the two of them have been doing, is all prayers and, of course, commitment, which I see in them. The political will is there, the capacity is there, the vibrancy is there, the commitment is there. And so I believe that, look, it's just about time, and we'll see how maverick and how wonderful these two leaders are.
Thank you very much for that elaborate response as well. Did I hear you say you can still spare us 10 more minutes, sir?
No, I said we should wrap up. I was asking if we could wrap up.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm just going to ask 3 people now to come in with their questions, because I said earlier on that the last question we'll be taking will be from Senator Umar Farouk. So the first person that will ask the question now will be Ambassador Joe Higiamuzo. Then Samsung SMA should be on standby. Then Senator Umar Farouk will follow, and that will be the end of it. Thank you so very much. So you have the floor now, sir.
Thank you. Is that me, Joe Higiamuzo? Okay, yeah, we can hear you. Okay, thank you so very much. I want to appreciate you, Barrister Debola, Joseph.
Is it the same Joe Higiamuzo? Do I know you?
Yes, sir, you do.
I'm looking at the name. All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining.
We'll talk after the meeting. I'm calling from the United Kingdom. Okay. I want to thank the House. Thank you, and thank the team for putting this together. Okay. I think this is a parley that should happen more frequently.
We do it every week, sir. We do it every week.
Oh, wonderful. It was Dr. Alistair that actually invited me to this. I wasn't privy that this was happening.
Okay.
So I want to thank all of you for all that's been done, and our special guests, the VIPs, responding to the bullets that's been thrown by everyone. Thank you so very much. My own here quickly. A lot of people have spoken about things I would have spoken about, but I want to quickly ask a question, because one of the campaign ethos of our president was the restructuring thing of the country. I want to ask, is that off the table now, the restructuring of the country, because competitiveness, comparative advantage are giving room for development of states in the country is one of the things that this can lead to. Is it off the table? Because I've not heard it talked about, or even on agenda of the execution of policies of government. So I want to quickly ask that question, use the opportunity. Perhaps subsequent meetings when I'm on board, I can ask some other things. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so very much. We'll move quickly now to Samsung SMA 145R. You have the floor now. Quickly. Okay, now we'll move on swiftly now to Senator Umar Farouk. Senator Umar Farouk, you're the last but not the least. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity, sir. I'm Senator Umar Farouk, a data scientist speaking from the United States of America. So my question goes straight to the election of the INEC, election of the local government. Why is this like we've not found any bill by the House of Assembly, or is there anything going on for the elections to be by the INEC? Because I can see the effort the president has been putting into the autonomy of the local government. And this is going to be like a loophole if this election side of it is not being appropriated or being into law, or we have it as part of the things they sent to the Supreme Court of recent. So I'm actually like very more focused about the election of the local government, because I know that is going to be the only loophole we have for all the good work the president is putting in place in that aspect. So the last thing I want to put about the price control, I can remember the president talking about the farmers buying all the goods from the farmers and having a good storage so we can have food security. So I remember when they're talking about it, then the president also promised this. So is there been anything that they're working on currently in this administration? And thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so very much. Apologies to your medium Macaulay. I'm so sorry, because I've said it before you raised your hand that the last question will be from Senator Farouk, because we were meant to close at 6 o'clock, but our VVIP have graciously allowed us to stay another 25 minutes more. And please join us next week. We'll have another panel, so you can ask your question. Thank you very much. So I'm yielding the floor now to Stanley Nkwocha, please. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks. So the first question has to do with restructuring. You know, I believe that no society is static. You know, as societies evolve, as dynamism goes into force, and of course leadership changes. Okay, you can see that, of course, now, for instance, states are beginning to have the powers now to produce their own electricity, for instance. So it's not as if the government is shying away from restructuring. No, it is not. But I think with time, the government will formally make its own presentation and make its own stand emphatically on this. Secondly, independent electoral commission, so to speak. I said basically when it comes to local government elections, for instance, that what they do basically is just to come and do coronation of they just come to do coronation of individuals, not really states. And this is against the very overwhelming power, influence, and control that state governments assert. Okay, but then again, too, like the president would not forcefully these are procedural things, these are constitutional things. If the federal government is going to be in charge of conducting state elections, then that is not the case as of today, given the fact that look, there is evolution of powers. Of course, the federal government, in simple terms, is not saddled with that responsibility. The state as of today are saddled with the powers of conducting state elections, and that is just the way it is. But as we go on, given the fact that we're beginning to look at the weaknesses in our system, and that's why when we said, look, that this president is committed to ensuring and enforcing strong institutions, you would agree with me that these are some of the options that are policies that have been put on the table. So gradually, as we go on, we'll begin to see some of government policies in that particular direction. So for me, it's food storage. One of the things the president did to ease the food crisis during the food crisis, was to order the release of grains, across the country. And you would agree with me that did go a long way in definitely stabilizing the food crisis that we had hitherto run into. And of course, it's also having its own effect. I remember the governor of Jigawa State came to the villa last time, and he said, look, that some of the places, and you were talking about security now, he said some of the places that farmers never used to go, his people never used to go farm, that right now they're beginning to go back to farms, and then gradually that it's beginning to result in yields, it's beginning to turn in agricultural output. So it's going to be a collective effort. It's going to be a collective. It's going to be a synergy. You understand? It's not as it's not the lawyers will say in this case it's not as if it's sui generis. It's not an item on its own. So by special grace of God, it's a collective effort. The president is committed. The government is committed. We're seeing stronger policies. We're seeing the president who has a vision to go to make a positive impact and make changes. By special grace of God, he's just spent 1 year. Let's give him more. I mean, we still have 3 years from now. And by special grace of God, given his devotion, given his smart thinking, given the way and manner he's been handling this nation, I'm very, very optimistic that sooner than later we'll definitely shout hooray.
Thank you so very much, sir. We really appreciate you answering all those questions in a very elaborate way, and I think it has enlightened everyone, both myself and the people that ask the questions, and even those watching across the globe. It's like I said, this is the reason why we created this forum, to have that heart-to-heart discussion with our leaders, so that people, because there's too many fake news on social media that with the propensity to pollute the minds of Nigerians, and that's why we decided to create this, so that people can hear directly from the people from government, so that at least now they know that what they're hearing from our VVIPs are legitimate information from the government. So that is why we set this up, to bridge that gap, to ensure that people don't get fed junk news on social media. And I feel blessed today that the presidency finds us worthy to bless us with two of its most high valued staff to come and talk to us. Well, I feel so really blessed, and thank you so very much, sir, for being so patient with us, because we were supposed to close at 6 o'clock, but you are still here at 6:30. That shows how much how high you hold us Nigerians in your heart. And for me, I think I keep saying to people, this government is a fresh a breath of fresh air, quite different from what we've been used to in the past. Like when somebody was talking about information dissemination, I'm thinking in my head, which planet is it on? Because as far as I know, this government that is one of the things that is one of the marked difference that we see in this government from what we've been used to. I think the president has spoken to the country within this 1 year now more than 5 times, and we hardly see that in past regimes. So for me, this administration is a breath of fresh air, and that's one of the reasons why we have decided we will have to do what we can to make sure that we bring the government and the citizens together on this parliament. That is why we make it a weekly thing. And so far, everybody we call upon have always been I've been availing us of their presence. So once again, I'm calling for the last time, Honorable Stanley Nkwocha. Please pardon me for calling you that.
I have a House of Representative member. Before he watches this program and begins to look at his back anytime he sees me.
Don't worry, sir. It's just a mark of respect from us to you.
It's okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
On a
Thank
lighter
you.
note,
We really appreciate you. So I think it's time. It's because our time is past spent now. I think it's time for us to draw the curtain. So please, a huge thanks to Ben TV, the first Nigerian African TV, Sky TV digital channel, who is our main media partner for streaming all our conferences live. This has been led by its CEO, Alastair Shorody. Thank you for your continuous support in diaspora. We appreciate you a lot. I also wish to acknowledge my co-hosts, Honorable Udeme, Honorable Boyo, Honorable Ogunsheye, Hajia Rekia Abubakar, who will be giving, she's our resident closing remarks lady. I'll be yielding the floor to her in a minute for her to give us the closing remarks. And once again, to our two VVIPs, to Bayo Onanuga, the special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, and to Stanley Nkwocha, the spokesman / senior special assistant to the President on Media and Communications at the Vice Presidential Office. Thank you so very much, sir, for gracing this conference. And not just that, you patiently listen to all the questions and you answered them so thoroughly. Thank you so very much. This is why we love you guys in government. Thank you so very much. And God bless you, sir. So now it is time for us to draw the curtain. So I'm going to be yielding the floor now to our resident. She's the mother of the Renewed Hope team, Hajia Rekia Abubakar. You have the floor now, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everyone. This is where we draw the curtain into this special edition of our Renewed Hope Global Virtual Town Hall Conference in commemoration of the first anniversary of the Renewed Hope administration of our President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Many thanks to our two special guests from the Presidency, Chief Bayo Onanuga, SA Information and Strategy, and Honorable, even though you say we shouldn't call you Honorable, Stanley Nkwocha, SSA Media and Communications, for taking time out of their busy schedules to come and share and also enlighten us more on the remarkable agenda of Mr. President's Renewed Hope. And as always, thank you to participants who joined us from locations all over the world.
Yeah.
On behalf of our Renewed Hope Global Virtual Town Hall Conference team, have a great day. Join us again next time when we bring you another special guest. I am yours truly, Hajia Rekia Bello Abubakar. Thank you. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so very much, Hajia. And just for the record, in the next couple of days, we will be announcing the details of our next VVIP for next week. And I can promise you it's going to be another big shot from this government, because like we said, we want to continually enlighten Nigerians about this government, because this government is doing a lot. My late dad used to say something when I was younger, which didn't make sense to me then until now. He used to say that the hen do sweat. He said, but people don't realize that the hen do sweat because of its feather. So this by inference, what I mean by that is that this government is doing a lot, because for some of us who are old enough to have gone through so many governments, that was why I said earlier on that for me personally, this is a breath of fresh air as far as I'm concerned. I'm in my 60s now, and I think I know a thing or two about governance, because I've been through so many, both military and civilian. And this one for me is a breath of fresh air. And that is why I have that hope that Nigeria is going to greater heights. Whilst this people, for as long as this government remains in this trajectory, I can see this country prospering. I can see this country going to greater heights. And I can see this country giving me the benefit to be able to hold my chest and tell my children that I did this and this and that, to ensure that the country moves forward. So for that, I have to thank everybody especially our participants, for always participating. Sometimes even though it's sometimes it's at short notice. They still do come from across the globe. We thank you so much. We don't take your presence for granted, because you are the reason why we keep doing what we are doing. And for as long as you keep supporting us, we will continue to come your way. And I can guarantee you, this government is one of the most accessible to Nigerians, and that is the reason why it is possible for us to be bringing them every week. And today we had the privilege of having two, not one, two, coming from the presidency, no less. And that says a lot about how highly this government is taking Nigerians across the country. And I don't want any of us to forget that. So, like I said, quit reading the social media tattoo. If you want real information about what is going on in this government, come attend our conferences every week. You could get the origi, what my people at home will call the origi of the news from the government. You'll be getting it right here on this channel. Thank you ever so much again for Ben TV for always being there for us. Our Honorable Alistair Shorty, thank you so very much. We love you, and you know that already anyway, but we just have to keep saying it, because without you, this probably wouldn't be as successful as it has been all this while. Thank you ever so much. And for everybody else, I say thank you and good night. Have a lovely and blessed weekend till we come your way again next week. In the next couple of days, like I said, we will be posting the details of the VVIP that will be coming to address us again. Thank you ever so much, and once again to our VVIP that we have for today. God bless you, sir. I pray that you'll be going higher and higher and higher in your profession, and whatever it is your heart desires, I'm sure God will grant you. Thank you ever so much. So this is where we draw the curtain today, and stay with us again next week. We'll be back and to give you more information regarding what our governments are doing and what they intend to do and what the future holds for Nigeria and Nigerians across the globe. Thank you ever so much. God bless you all.
No.